What's up, guys? How is it going? Alright, I have a hell of a game for your enjoyment this evening. I just played this game against Mr. Felty P. Marker, and I actually had a whole bunch of different games all lined up to do replays for, at least 6 or 7 that were very notable. But for some reason, the replays have stopped functioning. I click on them, and they just idle indefinitely, and I think it may have something to do with the fact that there was an update today, which you can see in this snazzy new Magic the Gathering icon. Maybe this is something related to Magic Arena, and they're trying to unify the icon or something like that. But another thing you might notice, which I actually noticed a few turns into the game, is that this is a 1v1 Commander game, and we both have 40 life. So the 40 life starting total has been restored to regular Commander. Certainly the 1v1 online format, which I find pretty much untenable at this point, still has 30 life, but the multiplayer format has gone back to 40 life, which is very interesting actually, because it does make the control deck stronger and will affect quite a few of the games going forward. Anyway, I am playing my budget Nin deck, which is adhering to the $150 construction budget, and it's actually inched up a little bit. I think it's about $152 now, so I'm going to have to make a painful cut pretty soon. Remove one of the $3 to $4 cards to get it back down below 150 just to make it fair. But not for now. I'm not going to worry about that. And I'm up against Mr. Ezuri, Claw of Progress. This blue-green commander that was printed a little while back. See it pretty often, and it is... Certainly it's not in the degenerate category like Edric, but it's very powerful and can get really, really high-pressure starts, especially when they go first if they draw some mana ramp and get the commander out before you can do anything. And I have an interesting hand, actually. I decided to keep it because of Ponder and Vandal Blast. Basically, the combination of these two give me reasonable opportunity to dig deep and get two mana. And Vandal Blast, of course, is Soul Ring Insurance. And Fire Ice, these decks tend to play a lot of small creatures, so if I'm able to draw red mana, I feel like I can contain his development for long enough for me to get to 3. And once I hit 3, I can Thirst for Knowledge into more mana, or I can play War and Power Stone and go from there. So it gives me... certainly not the safest keep, and it may be a little bit on the greedy side, but I feel like it's at least as good as a random 6. So I'm going to go with it. And he keeps going first. Plays Windswept Heath and a Tropical Island, and starts with that goddamn artifact. And there's no escaping it. But I guess it just comes with the territory when you play this format. But I have a Vandal Blast, right? And I'll just top deck red mana, I'm sure, right off the bat, and all the problems will be solved. Come on, deck. That's not red mana. That costs red mana. Alright, well, I'm going to have to ponder and pray for the best here. A Braid, Dak Faden, and Great Furnace. Okay, well, the good news is that there's 2 answers to Soul Ring there, along with the best answer, but I don't have a 3rd mana, so I can't exactly let the Soul Ring sit on board as much as I'd like to. And with that in mind, I'm just going to put Great Furnace on top. I'm sorry, I'm going to put, well, Dak Faden at the bottom, a Braid below that, or above that, and then Great Furnace on the top, so I can draw the Great Furnace and play it and kill off Soul Ring next turn. And I just have to hope that he doesn't have a 3rd mana source here. I'm actually going to open these up here. I think that may help with the resizing issue that has screwed up a bunch of my other games. I just have to hope he doesn't have a 2nd mana to go with that, and can't play his commander right away. Although the Abrade gives me an answer to Ezuri right away because it only has 3 toughness. Alright, come on, buddy. Don't play it. Well, he's got that too. And then he plays Coiling Oracle, which is a really strange choice to me, honestly, given the fact that this thing triggers his experience counters. I would have thought he would have just played Ezuri when I only had 1 mana in play, but maybe he figures he's going to get lucky and draw a land off of this. And here he goes, revealing... Cynic Signet, great. Well, normally that wouldn't be that awesome for him. Unfortunately, he's got a Soul Ring in play, so it's just as good as a land, if not better. Whew. 5 mana to 1, and I know that the top of my deck is not good either. This is a really, really bad way to start the game. But I'm not going to give up yet. I'm just going to soldier on here. Alright, well, I'm going to eliminate the first problem here, which is Soul Ring. And I actually kind of feel that maybe there's a chance he doesn't have a 4th mana, given the fact that he was so eager to play Coiling Oracle, and that killing off Soul Ring may mean that he can't play Ezuri next turn. So that's my hope. And it goes back to his turn, and he plays a Dryad Arbor, which I expect he probably did have in his hand. But it doesn't make any mana yet, so he can't play Ezuri, and that's going to buy me a turn to draw the now somewhat useless Dak Faden. Well, I can grab the Simic Signet down the road. But at least I've got some good plays here for the following turn here. So I've got a choice. I can either fire both these creatures away or I can cast Earthquake. And though Earthquake has more scalability and flexibility, I really kind of need Ice, I think, in order to potentially stunt his mana for a turn and also to cycle to draw a card, because I really need to hit a third mana. And with that in mind, I'm just going to use the Earthquake to kill both of these. There's some other potential plays there. Braiding the Simic Signet wasn't a terrible idea, but I'd rather steal it with Dak Faden and just hope that he does not have another mana source and can't play his commander. But I do have the Abrade to kill that too, so that's very handy. I just love this card. I can't fit it into my non-budget Nin deck because that deck is so tight, but I sure would love to play it. It's really, really such a strong red budget card. Alright, he plays Nature's Lore in lieu of playing his commander again, and kind of read this as him maybe having counter magic, which is why he'd play that to develop mana instead of just playing the commander. But either way, I'm happy that it's not pressuring me yet. I just need to draw a third land. Damn it. Stoic Rebuttal. All right. Well, normally I would never do this. I would never ice my opponent's mana before he even untapped. But I just really, really need to hit a land drop here. So I'm just going to ice here, and I just draw another 3-mana thing. Palladium Mirror. Just stuck at 2. Sucks so bad. But at least I'm facing only 5 mana instead of what that would have been 8. Soul Ring plus the Dryad Arbor. Managed to curtail 3, which is some degree of containment. Certainly has kept things from spiraling out of control too early. 6 mana. Great. Well, all of my mana destruction is for naught. And down comes Ezuri. But he's got nothing else to go with it, which is very handy. Okay, I really, really need to get a 3rd mana here. This game's just going to be over. Come on, deck. Wow. All right. That is a card. That is definitely a card. Okay, so 2 choices here. First one is play Soul Ring and play one of these other mana artifacts. I would probably play the Palladium Mirror because it may discourage him from attacking for some reason. You never really know what people are going to think. And they're both creatures, or they're both summoning sick effectively, but Palladium Mirror at least can block. And the other option is to just simply play the Soul Ring and Abrade away Ezuri and hope that he spends his next entire turn just recasting it, which buys me more time to draw more mana and potentially use this Stoic Rebuttal to stop a bigger play. And with that in mind, I decided to take that route. I'm just going to go and play the Soul Ring and Abrade down Ezuri. Keep him busy trying to replay his commander and not getting experience point counters. I figure if I draw another mana source here, if I draw blue, then I can play, tap these 2 and play Palladium Mirror, and I'll have Metalcraft. So that'll mean the Stoic Rebuttal will stop anything that would give him EXP counters. That's certainly my plan here. Alright, he's got another tap land and 6 mana. Down comes Ezuri again. Alright, we kind of expected that. Alright, well, as much as I'd like to play Dak Faden and steal his Signet, I feel that it's more important to protect myself. He's got 3 cards in his hand, and they're definitely threatening. And then I draw Coalition Relic, which isn't an island, but in some cases is actually better. I think I would have rather drawn an island here because it would have meant putting 3 mana into play instead of just 1. But this does at least turn on Metalcraft while giving me the opportunity to Stoic Rebuttal, and that's really, really critical. Alright, I still feel like I'm just hanging on by the skin of my teeth this game, but at any moment, if he's able to just spam the board with little creatures, suddenly I'm going to be facing insane pressure. And even with 38 life, it's going to be lethal really quickly. Alright, tapping a ton of mana. Holy shit, Consecrated Sphinx. Alright, I am so glad that I drew something that gave me blue mana right there. That would have been, well, almost effectively lethal. Would have drawn him up to 5 cards. This thing is just so backbreaking if you're not able to deal with it. But I've got a Stoic Rebuttal counterspell to stop it. That is a nice little interaction of very expensive versus very cheap. Alright, Ezuri smashes in for 3. Not a big deal. Alright, really want to draw Island here. Come on, deck. Trinket Mage. Okay, well, again, it's like blue mana in another form. I'm going to certainly play that. And I'm going to go get Seed of the Synod. Play it, and tap all my mana to play a Palladium Mirror. This is certainly letting my defenses down, but I don't really have an adequate defense that's going to be reliable. I figure I just need to get more mana into play and hope that he doesn't have another really big, strong play like his Consecrated Sphinx. I kind of expect that he might he must have some small guys in his hand. He's just been casting bigger stuff because it's more prudent. But I'm going to prepare to face the wrath of the experience point counters. So there's Elvish Mystic. That gives him 1. Alright, it's a lot. Sprout Swarm with buyback. It's kind of a cool combo with Ezuri. And then it gives him a steady stream of experience point counters, and these Saprolings get very big very quickly. Within a few turns, that'll be like put a 5/5 into play with buyback for 5 mana. Alright, he can't attack yet, which is nice. He just pumps the Saproling up. Alright, 3 cards in hand still. I've actually been able to play a number of different Soul Rings here, so I've got, what is this, 8 mana in play now? I'm actually up equal in parity to him, and I suspect my hand might be a little bit better given that he's got a Sprout Swarm. Alright, Preordain. I'm going to certainly cast that. Amnesia. Wow. Alright, that is super timely because, as you can see, I've got Mystical Tutor in my hand, which means I have my Cyclonic Rift on demand, one of those key cards in this budget deck that I've spent the $10 of budget for because it's such an important tool to have. And one of its best interactions, of course, is with Amnesia. You just have to time it correctly. So I'm absolutely keeping both those cards. I need the mana, and Amnesia is super powerful as well. This seems like a good window to play Nin the Pain Artist, and allows me to tap out and play a Worn Power Stone. So I've increased my mana base all the way up to 11, and I've got a big Nin activation on the horizon here if he's not able to disrupt it, and I've got plenty of life to play with. Let's see what happens. 3 mana. Alright, Wood Elves, that's more pumping of Ezuri. Wow, Reclamation Sage. I wonder if he just drew that this turn. But fortunately I've got basically 4 Soul Rings in play. 3 pure Soul Rings and 1 Soul Ring every other turn, so it's not really too terrible. Just dropping me from 11 down to 9. But he's got a lot of experience point counters, and this thing gets bigger. I can now give +4/+4. He's got a 7/6. I'm not really sure why he put that on a creature that was summoning sick over, say, the Saproling, which could have just bashed in for 7. But either way, he's not even able to attack. And even though I know the top card of my deck is Amnesia, I decided I'm just going to cast Thirst for Knowledge here because I kind of don't really need the Dak Faden anymore. And I really want to draw some more lands and possibly another counterspell. So I'm going to cast that, and I get, obviously, the Amnesia that I knew, plus a nice artifact to throw away to the Thirst, and a land, which is pretty phenomenal. I'm very, very glad I cast that there. Okay, so I've got half of the combo here. I've just got to set it up. Alright, into the Royal. That's also really handy. Just going to pass. Let's see what he does. And one thing that's really nice, as far as the interaction of Cyclonic Rift goes with a deck like his, is that Ezuri wants to be playing all of its stuff before it attacks every turn, so that it gets the maximum amount of EXP counters, which plays right into the Cyclonic Rift hands. Let's see what he's going to do. He plays Scoop Mob. That is quite a good combo with Ezuri as well, given the fact that it's a 1/1 initially, and then it grows big right away. So he's going to be able to pile more counters. He makes a huge Reclamation Sage. It's 12/11. God, okay. Well, I'm going to block there. So the question is, how much do I shoot the Trinket Mage for here? I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 8 cards, which is insane. If I leave 1 blue mana untapped, I have the opportunity to Mystical Tutor at the end of his turn and go get a Cyclonic Rift right away. If I leave 2, then I have the ability to enter the Royal something, which may ultimately be very handy and prevents him from doing a post-combat disaster. And at the end of the day, I kind of feel like, I know he has Sprout Swarm in his hand. He only has 1 more card. What's really the worst thing that could happen? I'm just going to tap out. Screw it. Draw 8 off the corpse of my Trinket Mage. God, I love the 2 wizards in this deck. They're just so great. Get a Soul Ring or get a Veldican Shackles, and then give your life for the cause. Okay. I've drawn a hell of a hand. Brainstorm's super nice because it'll combine with Mystical Tutor and allow me to actually play that search for and cast the Cyclonic Rift during the attack step if I need to. Multiple counterspells, including the best one in the deck right now, which is Forbid. And, God, man, even Trophy Mage to go get Shackles. Very, very nice. And I just take 3. And when we were talking about that potential punish, as far as the worst thing that could happen, this one might be up there. Prime Speaker Zagana, when he has a 12 power creature in play. That is not good. And if I had the Cyclonic Rift in my hand, let's see, enters the battlefield where X is the greatest power, and then enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to its power. If you bounce it back to your opponent's hand, he doesn't draw anything. So, yeah, that's a shame. I'm just going to get absolutely slammed here. Plus he's got Reliquary Tower, so he puts a counter on this thing and draws 14. God, he has 15 cards in hand. But truth of the matter is, no matter how many cards your opponent has, this combo still works pretty effectively, as long as I don't die next turn. So that's the goal. And he plays a Scavenging Ooze. God, his EXP counters are 6. It's disgusting. Alright, come on. Let me try like Control Magic or something. Dismiss. Very good card normally, not good now. Alright, so I do some math here. I realize I can play the Fellwar Stone, and after fiddling around with my mana, so I need to be able to go, assuming I'm in a Cyclonic Rift at the end of his turn, I can take a big hit here without dying, which is fine. So if I go Brainstorm, Mystical Tutor, Rift, that's 9 mana total, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So with only 10 mana available, and that play being pretty much mandatory, given that he just drew 14 cards, I can't really play anything else besides the Bauble, which is a shame. But at least I do have some junk to throw away. So put the Bauble out. And I throw away the Cold Steel Heart, certainly not useful. I throw away Dismiss, given that it's by far the clunkiest counterspell that I have, and I've already got Nin running, so it's pretty useless. And I throw away that poor Dak Faden who's been hanging out in my hand the whole game. Alright, don't kill me, please. Like, if he's got something like the Craterhoof Behemoth or whatever that thing is, that would be instantaneously lethal. But at least I'm guarded with counterspells. He just has such a giant hand. But my hope here is that he gets a little greedy. Before attacking, he just plays a bunch of guys in order to further utilize Ezuri, and I'm able to catch him completely with his pants down. Plays a Temple of Mystery. That's nice that it's tapped. Plays Thrumming Bird. Okay, along the lines of the pre-combat greedy stuff. He's casting more things. Whoa, what is this? Holy shit. Alright, Hangerback Walker. Wow, this thing is so good with Ezuri. Jesus Christ. Like with 7 EXP counters, it goes all the way up to an 11-11. But that kind of taps him out. That's playing right into my hands. And sure enough, he throws the counters on the Walker, which is now an 11-11. Sends in his giant monsters. Practically a lethal attack right here. What is this? This is like 35 damage. Yeah, it is lethal. Alright. I've got exactly 9 mana. Let's go put Cyclonic Rift on top. Brainstorm for it. And there's a Disciple in here, which is nice, as well as a land. So I'm going to put back, I think I put back Into the Royal, followed by Trophy Mage. Yeah, I guess I put the island back since I can just draw it next turn. I just hold on to the Disciple. And here we go. Let's hook him up with this card. Blam! Wow, 21 cards in hand. It's absolutely ridiculous. And he doesn't have to discard. Until my next turn, of course. Alright, play this island. And let's take a gander at that gigantic hand. Mr. Felty P. Marker. Wow. I gotta say, in all the amnesias I've cast over the years in Commander Online, I think this may be the meatiest one of all time. How many is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 card discard with Amnesia. The rare times when this card is just straight up way more powerful than Mind Twist. Gone. Down to 4 land in hand. It's so brutal. I'm not going to play the Disciple, of course, because I'm sitting on Forbidden and Dissipate. Full intention to just... I don't have 3 islands yet, so I can't steal Ezuri, although I guess I can use the Bauble here. But just for tempo reasons, I think I'm going to use the Dissipate and counterspell his Ezuri if he replays it, which I fully expect him to do. I just want to make it cost more mana, which will make his turns more difficult. It's just pure tempo right here. I get to charge and sack the Bauble and be ready with Shackles for the second time he redeploys Ezuri, because I know he's got a bunch of lands in hand. Man, if you've ever seen a game flip on one turn, it was probably that sequence of plays right there. Rift away 1 billion permanents, and then Amnesia away 17 cards. So crazy. Alright. Play the Disciple. This is insurance against big mana shenanigans. It's really, really nice to get too. Plus it allows me to tap his big creatures if he's able to pump them up. I'm going to play Trophy Mage. There's a 1 target left. That's the best one. I'm not going to play it though, because I'd rather just draw some cards off the Trophy Mage in response to a spell if I need to buy back the Forbid. He's playing some mana. Alright. That does nothing. And instead of pumping his Ezuri up to get it out of reach of my shackles that I just tutored for, he instead plays this Essence Warden, since he really needs a 9/9. Instant 9/9 for 1 green. Seems good, but not as good as what I can do. End of turn, I'm going to tap all my mana, and the second mage will give his life for the cause. I guess that's a her, actually. Yeah, she's female. Oh man, and what a 6 this is. Incredible. Control Magic and Steel Hellkite and Memory Lapse. So delicious. And I think he just has land in his hand. I draw Command Tower. So I'm just going to play the Steel Hellkite. But play Shackles first, of course, to snag the Ezuri. Stop those shenanigans. I'm going to play the Hellkite, which does a certain number on Essence Warden. Even though Essence Warden is giant, it's still a 1-drop. I've got both enough mana for both Lapse and Forbid with buyback. Looking super solid now. Yes, take. This card's so cool in his deck, actually. Remove all +1/+1 counters from target creature you control. Draw that many cards. Literally draw 8 for 3 mana off this Essence Warden. But nope, I'm going to have to just lapse that. And I think you can redraw it when you don't have a creature with 8 counters on it. How does that sound? It's just done. And end step, I'm just going to draw 1. By shooting his Ezuri. Hang on to it. We'll draw Wandering Fumarole. I'm just going to tap down the Essence Warden here since it's going to die anyway. I can certainly spare the cards in my graveyard given that I've got 1,000,000. I get to smash him here for looks like 11 damage. And post-combat paying 1 mana to kill off the 9/9 Warden. Play the Fumarole. Looking pretty set here at this point. I think it's all academic, given the fact that his next draw step is also totally useless. He's tapping some stuff. And he casts a Court of Calling for 6. I have no idea what this would be for. Maybe for a duplicant or something, but of course, there's no reason to let any spells resolve. Pay 2. Or pay 1. Use the Disciple twice. He lets it die. And that is the game. Wow. Really, really glad this replay cooperated. Maybe with the changes that they've made, which also actually introduced the Brawl format for Magic Online. I don't know if I have any interest in playing that format, but I'll probably take a look at it. It just doesn't strike me as the most interesting thing in the world compared to regular Commander. Just having to play with far fewer sets and weird, discordant matchups of expansions where you've got the weird energy, vehicle, merfolk, pirate, dinosaur set all meshing together. Seems strange to me, but maybe it's more fun than it seemed at first glance. I built a couple of decks yet, but I haven't actually played them. But anyway, glad you guys got to see this game. This game was phenomenal. I loved how it kind of unfolded with the mana problems at the beginning against a Sol Ring, scraping along, just keeping him contained long enough to top deck my own Sol Ring, and then ramping in the right way, stopping that Consecrated Sphinx, and then working my way towards this absolute blowout sequence of plays with the Rift into Amnesia, which is one of the favorite interactions in this Nin deck that I get to see from time to time, and then the awesome finish. Hope you guys enjoyed that game, and hopefully those 6 or 7 other replays I have lined up wind up restoring themselves to working condition, and I get to record them. But if not, I'm sure I'll have more games for you guys in the near future. And some other cool content on the horizon, actually. I've been doing some collaborations with a number of people for some old school content, and I'll definitely be linking that on my channel if you guys have an interest in the old school format, which is basically 93, 94 Magic that includes the entire restricted list from way back in the day. Stay tuned for that, and more to come. See you soon.